lots of confidence in the Falcons players that they could win a Super Bowl. But, guys, let's chill out a little bit. We haven't been to the Super Bowl since 2016, and we haven't made the playoffs since 2017. We got a long way to go if we want to make a Super Bowl run. I do love the confidence, though, which is really good. Because watch out, America, these aren't the same Falcons that you're used to. Kyle Pitts is going to have perhaps the best season of his career since the rookie season. Bijan is going to be one of the best running backs in the game again. Drake London is going to turn into a top 5 receiver in the league. Michael Penix is going to shock the world. Defense is going to be so much better. Oh, I'm excited. Obviously, I'm not trying to get confident, but that's what I'm hoping happens with us. As for BYU, do I have to say this again? We're going to be just fine without Jake Ritzlove. It's not like he was a superstar QB. He was just average. And speaking of Jake, he's trying to go to Tulane now. I mean, that was probably the best school that they had to offer. But hey, if he does well with Tulane, that's wonderful. I hope he does have a better future. It really just sucks that the girls that accused him of, SA completely lied about it. I do wish Jake the best in his future endeavors. He just can't come back here because, well, of course, if he did stay, he would have had to serve a 7-game suspension. I know he didn't sign up for that one. Transition from the Power 6 to the Group 5 for this video. Excuse me, Power 4 to the Group of 5. Welcome back to Grizzly Talks Football. Welcome to another episode. Oh man, we are close to 100 episodes, like Season 1 and Season 2. This episode, we are going to do the best and worst teams from each Group of 5 conference. So that's Mid-American, American Athletic Conference, Conference USA, Sun Belt, and I believe the Mountain West. No Pac-2 because that only has 2 teams, and I can only pick one for the 2, so we're not going to do that one. I guess Washington State is the best team and Oregon State is the worst team, but off with that. We're talking about the more important Group of 5 teams, the ones that have more than 2 teams on their entire conference. Oh yeah, and you saw the MAC season reviews? Yeah, I didn't even notice that UMass was going to be in the MAC in 2025, so that was interesting. Not like it matters because they're ass. But anyways, if you are still looking for the playlist for Season 2, I'll make sure to leave it in the description to make sure that you guys catch up on every single episode. So you'll have it, and you'll also have it for future episodes whenever they reach the airwaves. Don't you forget to hit the subscribe button down there, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. Helps the channel a lot. Without further delay, let's get to work on the best and worst teams of every Group of 5 conference in my opinion, but 2025. We're going to start with what I would say is the least performing conference in the Group of 5, and unfortunately, it's got to be the Mid-America Conference. It just sucks because like 20 years ago, the Mid-America Conference was like the talk of Group of 5 football. I mean, they had College Game Day in 2003 when Northern Illinois faced Bowling Green. Miami, Ohio, led by Big Ben. I think they used to have Byron Leftwich at Marshall when they were in the MAC before they went to Conference USA. It was some great age in time for the Mid-American Conference. And then, fast forward 10 years later, Northern Illinois was the talk of Group of 5, man. With Jordan Lynch at the helm at quarterback, running for all those touchdowns. Being a pretty good passer too. That was some great times. But now we go to present day, and the best team from the Mid-American Conference, otherwise known as the MAC, I'm going to go with Toledo. For the last couple years, Toledo has actually been one of the more solid programs in recent memory. They have actually put out a very good team like almost every season. I know they had a down year just this past year, but they still have a lot of things going their way right now. And they do have a favorable schedule. They have a lot of returning production, however, so it's going to be a very interesting season for the Toledo. I believe they're called the Rockets. Best returning production in the conference. They have a much favorable schedule, like I said before, as in like one of the easiest schedules, so don't be surprised if they go to the MAC championship. But man, Chase Candle has been a really good coach for that team. Also look out for running back transfer from, I believe, Kentucky, Chip Trayanum. Expect him to go completely off. What is with the schedule that's so easy? They avoid Ohio and Buffalo, who are considered some of the top teams in the MAC. They actually had, according to SP Plus ratings, 5 of the 6 bomb teams in the conference, including Kent State. That's the kind of easy schedule I'm talking when you're talking about a MAC team schedule. As for the worst team, I'm actually going to say the UMass Minutemen. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with this because Kent State went winless last year, but just hear me out. I believe Kent State is going to be a lot better than they were last year. Like, a lot better because, I mean, there's no expectations after you go winless. As for UMass, they haven't had expectations ever since they joined the FBS. They've been hot ass every single year. At least Kent State has some good years, like, for instance, 2012. You guys remember that season when Kent State actually went as high as 18th in the country as a ranked team before they ran into Jordan Lynch in Northern Illinois at the BAT championship. But UMass, all their accomplishments have just been when they were in the FCS and also basketball. That's pretty much it. They haven't been good ever since they moved up a division, and I don't think they're ever going to be good anytime soon unless somebody somehow turns that around. Definitely not going to be this year. Up next, I'm going to take a look at Conference USA. Now, for the best team, you can go with either one of these two teams, Western Kentucky and Liberty, but I am going to go with the overwhelming preseason favorite, the Liberty Flames. I'm not even kidding. The media poll has 143 of 144 possible first place votes going to Liberty. That's how overwhelming of a favorite they are. They've had the best team in Conference USA ever since they joined that fucking conference. Like, they are that good. And just remember, 2 years ago, they actually made a New Year's Six bowl game, which was the Fiesta Bowl. I'm not actually so sure what bowl game it was. They went up against Bo Nix in Oregon, lost that game, but hey, at least they scored a touchdown in that game. It just shows how good Liberty can be. They have one of the best rosters in the conference again. They've returned running back Quentin Cooley, not Keaton Salter. Unfortunately, the site that I'm using is absolutely wrong. AI is incorrect because Keaton Salter went to Colorado. They actually have some good defenders as well, returning youth. They have a couple transfers like Bradley Green. Man, I can see why a lot of people are hyped up about this team. Jamie Chadwell was a beast for this program. He continued to be, well, until he eventually leaves for the Power 4. They just have everything going well for them, which is why they are overwhelming favorites to win the Conference USA. As for the worst team, I'm not so sure. There were like a couple new teams that are being added, like Delaware, Missouri State. I'm actually going to go Missouri State on this one. They have a weak defense, a low SP Plus rating. Yeah, this is not looking good for them, especially with the FCS to FBS transition. It's going to be tough. But if we learned anything, remember Sam Houston? They were probably the worst team in the conference, but then a year later, they won 10 games. If I was Missouri State, I would absolutely try to look forward to 2026, especially after what Sam Houston did just this past season. But right now, they're the bottom dweller for me in Conference USA. Now let's move on to the Sun Belt, or the Fun Belt if you'd like to call it that. The best team without a shadow of a doubt in my mind is going to be the Raging Cajuns from Louisiana. If one person says Louisiana Lafayette again, I'm going to say, what the fuck did you just call them? Every single Sun Belt championship almost had the Raging Cajuns in there, so they have a lot of great consistency. As of late, they have built some very strong teams, including 2 times when they were ranked at the end of the year. I remember those Billy Napier years when he was with Louisiana. They were good when he was coaching. But I think they are just going to be getting better and better, especially with their new coach. What's his name? Michael Desormeaux. He's actually been with the team since 2022, and this is his 4th season, and He's done very well, especially with that program. I mean, he was Sunbelt Coach of the Year last year. My goodness, he brought him all the way to the championship game in the Sunbelt, and they were, oh boy, really good. It should be a really great season for the Raging Cajuns. As for the worst team, I'm actually going to go with a very unpopular pick, to be honest. Georgia State Panthers. I know they beat Vandy last year, but in conference play, they couldn't even beat teams in their own conference. And you know those Commodores are looking for revenge, so as far as the worst team, it seems like Marshall's a good contender, Georgia Southern. There's also Appalachian State, but unfortunately, I gotta go with Georgia State here. I don't think the teams that I mentioned are going to be as bad, but Georgia State, yikes. Their home attendance has been so bad, and I could see why. Just bad program stability. Conference is getting more competitive, so it's going to be a big struggle for them. Moving on to, we got two conferences left. We're going to go with the Mountain West next. As the best team, it really comes down to two teams, in my opinion. Boise State and UNLV. Between those two teams, in my opinion, I'm actually going to go with the UNLV Rebels. Most people are going to pick Boise State because Mountain West Coach of the Year, Spencer Danielson, of course. You got Max Madsen still at quarterback. You did lose Ashley Gentry, though, which is going to be a little concerning. I mean, Dan Mullen's now the coach of that team, and he's known to be a very good coach. I mean, he led Florida back to top 10 finishes in 2018 and 2020. The biggest matchup is absolutely going to be against Boise State, and I think those two teams are going to be matched up more than likely to go to the Mountain West Championship. I think UNLV, this is a little different UNLV team from last year. In a good way. Let's just hope the coaching staff is as good as advertised, because part of the team, they lost a couple of production, but I think the loss of Eschegenti is going to hurt Boise State more often than it does to UNLV. Because, let's be honest, Eschegenti was UNLV's kryptonite, not Boise State. As far as the worst team in the Mountain West, this is going to be a little difficult. I'm going to go with Wyoming Cowboys. It's pretty straightforward. It's either them or Nevada. I'm just kidding. I'm going to actually go with the New Mexico Lobos. They lost their head coach and their starting quarterback, so to say that this team's going to have a down year would be a massive understatement. Horrible schedule for them. Absolutely abysmal. And they lost a ton of key players, including their head coach and quarterback. Yikes, it's going to be a rough night in New Mexico. Or should I say a rough season. Good luck with that. And the final conference we got is the American Athletic Conference. The best conference according to quite a bunch of people as far as group of 5 conferences go. Second would probably be Mountain West. But for my best team in the American Athletic Conference, I mean, it really depends on Jake Retzlaff transfer or not. Nah, I'm just playing. Even with or without Jake Retzlaff, I think Tulane is going to be the best team in that American Athletic Conference. John Summerall has proven that he can build a winning program from the bottom up. And as far as Tulane, they have had some really good years starting from 2022 up to present day. Making the American Athletic Conference Championship every single year in those first three years, with Willie Fritz's final 2 years and also John Summerall's first year in 2024. It was a little disappointing, but I mean, they had a really good schedule with Kansas State and Oklahoma, and they almost won those 2 games as well. They have a lot of returning talent, even though Mekhi Hughes and Darian Mensah transferred, which is why they went to try to obtain Jake Retzlaff from BYU to play for them. Army and UTSA on paper are supposed to be tough games. I don't think Army is going to be as competitive as people advertise them to be, even though they should be a pretty decent team. I feel like UTSA and Navy could be some good contender picks as well. Maybe even Memphis also. But don't be surprised if Tulane is in the AAC Championship again. As for the worst team, this is going to be tough to say. I'm actually going to go with the Temple Owls. They got new head coach Casey Keeler. They're in the rebuilding cycle, which is already bad enough. They have been near the bottom of the rankings as far as scoring offense, rushing offense, and defense, and sacks allowed, sacks recorded. Oh boy, that's a lot of stats that happened last year. That Temple was near the bottom end. And at the fact they have a tough schedule, yeah, Temple, you might be cooked. Teams that they have to face as far as challenging schedule goes, you got Tulane and UTSA at home, and road games against Army. I don't know if you could call Charlotte a tough team, but they're there. North Texas and Tulsa. North Texas and Army made bowl games. Charlotte and Tulsa, not so much, but still, this is going to be tough for a team that's supposed to be rebuilding. That's why I think Temple will be the worst team in the American Athletic Conference in 2025. But yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for this episode. If you did enjoy, make sure you give this a big thumbs up. Hit the red subscribe button down there. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single one of my videos. This is the Grizz signing off for now. And until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace, love, and keep the Grizzly vibes with you at all times. Take care.